Good morning, boys. Yesterday we completed reading Unit 1 of Lesson 5, and today we shall first work out the activities, the exercise. Question number 1, that is MCQ questions. A. The keeper of the big half moon lighthouse is father. B. The family moved over to the mainland in winter. C. When asked about relations, father looked sorrowful. Next question number 2. Filling in chart with information from the text. A. Name of the island. Big Half Moon Island. B. Age of Claude. 12 years. You must write years. Never write only 12. 12 years. Question number C. The game played by Claude and the narrator, Pirate Caves. In such questions, you have to furnish only the answers, only the information. You must not use complete sentences, because such questions bear 1 marks each, and that is why only the information is enough. No complete sentence is required. Now question number 3, true false with supporting statement. In case of supporting statement, I would like to remind you that here you have to quote the expression. Do not write of your own. Do not write the expression in your own language. You have to quote the expression, the statement. Question number 1. People felt that Claude and the narrator were lonesome. It must be true, because the children of the mainland thought so about them. Supporting statement. They said, we must be very lonesome over there. Question number 2. Claude and the narrator quarreled. Of course, it is false. Supporting statement. Claude and I never quarreled. Question number 3. Nobody on the mainland had relations. It must be false. Supporting statement. Everybody on the mainland had relations. Now, we have to start reading Unit 2. Now let's start. It is always lovely on the big half moon in summer. Though in winter, the island was frozen and the shore and the coast was frozen also. But in summer, big half moon was very lovely. In the state, in the countries, in the land, in Europe and in vast places in North America, summer and spring are very beautiful and pleasant. And so also in their land, in Canada. It is always lovely on the big half moon in summer. সামারে খুব সুন্দর ওয়েদার ছিল, খুব সুন্দর লাগতো বিগ হাফ মুনকে। When it is fine, when the weather was not inclement, when the weather was favorable, the harbor is blue and calm. The sea near the coast was absolutely blue and absolutely calm, serene. খুব শান্ত, সুন্দর, নীল সমুদ্র. With little wind and ripples. Ripples means small waves, ছোট ছোট ঢেউ। তো সামান্য হাওয়া থাকতো, ঝোড়ো হাওয়া নয়। It was never a gale. It was a mild wind, mild breeze, and small waves danced in the sea. Every summer we had some hobby. In every summer we used to develop a new hobby. It is quite natural for children. Children are always looking for some hobby, and they always shift from one hobby to another. You know yourselves also. If you can judge yourself, you would find that you would also do so. You always shift from one hobby to another, and they also did so. In every summer, we had some hobby. The last summer before Dick and Mimi came. Before Dick and Mimi came, just try to understand this part of the sentence. That means when the story is being written, Mimi and Dick have already come to the narrator. But before they came, uh, in that summer, we were crazy about kites. We developed a new hobby of making kites and flying kites, and we were absolutely crazy about our new hobby. নতুন শখ হলো ঘুড়ি ওড়াবার, ঘুড়ি বানাবার এবং ঘুড়ি ওড়াবার। এবং এটা নিয়ে আমরা তখন বেশ পাগলামি শুরু করে দিয়েছি। বাচ্চাদের স্বভাবই তাই, যখন নতুন একটা হবি হয় সেটা নিয়ে নানাবিধ পাগলামি করে, মা বাবার মারধর খেয়ে মাস্টারমশাইয়ের বকা শুনেও দে নেভার গিভ আপ দ্য হবি। ওটাই বাচ্চাদের স্বভাব। ক্রেজি, very excited, very emotional about something. A boy on the But why did they suddenly develop the hobby of making kites and flying kites? There is a specific reason. A boy on the mainland showed Claude how to make them. When we were in the mainland in winter, a boy there somehow taught Claude how to make kites. Back on the island, we made plenty of kites, and when we came back to our dear island, we managed to fashion a large number of kites. Claude would go around to the other side of the island, and we would play shipwrecked mariners, signaling to each other with kites. And two of us would play with those kites. Claude usually went to a part, an end of the island, and I helped him in flying kites, and we often played some shipwrecked mariners, signaling their presence with the kites. It was a sort of play. It was a sort of play to communicate an imaginary sailor of an imaginary sailor communicating to his mates with the kite. We had a kite that was big and covered with lovely red paper. আমাদের একটা ঘুড়ি ছিল। We made a kite. The kite was very big, large in size, and it was made of a red sheet of paper. The sheet of paper was very lovely to look at, and the kite was made of that red paper. We pasted gold tinsel stars all over it. Tinsel means a glossy material to decorate something. A glossy material to decorate something. অনেকটা আমাদের রাংতার মতো, বুঝলি তো? রাংতাই বলতে পারিস। We pasted gold tinsel stars all over it. We made tinsel stars, রাংতার তারা তৈরি করলাম আমরা, and decorated our kite with those stars, and had written our names full on it. And we also wrote our full names, with address. Claude lit and Philippa lit Big Half Moon Lighthouse. That means the full name of the narrator and her elder brother are Claude lit and Philippa lit. The name of the narrator is Philippa. Okay. Now, just try to understand. They wrote their names and address on the kite. Why? Seemingly there is no reason. It was a playfulness of children. Nothing other than it. It was absolutely playfulness of the children. but somehow it made a miracle, and we shall go through about it afterwards. Just think, when you will complete reading the text, you can try to understand how small things make big changes in our lives. And that is the beauty of small things. Never condemn anything as small. Your small work that is seemingly very small today may cause big results, may bring about big results. You know my voice? So, never condemn anybody, never condemn yourself, never consider anything small to be small, never reckon anything as futile. Everything is important if you can make it important. Do you understand? Now, we are uh, going through a very troublesome period of time in our life. We are absolutely confined in our houses. We cannot go out. Social mixing has been stopped. But if you can find, you will find something very positive also in such an inclement situation. Inclement situation. So, these children wrote their names and address on the kite without any specific reason. They did it in their playfulness, but it turns to be a very effective thing in their life. Okay, one day there was a grand wind for kite flying. একদিন ঘুড়ি ওড়াবার মতো একটা দারুণ হাওয়া দিল। Grand wind for kite flying. Flying kite requires good wind, not a gale and not very mild. It must be a moderate type of wind that is very conducive to flying kites. I'm not sure how it happened, but I do not know how it occurred. But as I was bringing the kite from the house, while I was bringing the kite from our house after being ordered by Claude to do it, I tripped and fell over the rocks. Somehow, I stumbled over the rocks. I stumbled and fell over the rocks. My elbow went clear through the kite, and my elbow, কনুই, এটা সোজা ঘুড়ির মধ্যে দিয়ে ঢুকে গেল। The kite is made of paper, so when one's elbow goes to it, it must be torn, making a big hole. And so it happened. The kite got a big hole in it. Our very favorite kite was damaged. যখন ঘড়িটা নিয়ে আমি আসছি, ক্লড আমাকে ঘড়িটা নিয়ে আসতে বলেছিল, বিকজ দেয়ার ওয়াজ আ গ্র্যান্ড উইন্ড ফর কাইট ফ্লাইং। ঘড়িটা ওড়া পড়ে, বোন নিয়ে আয় একটু ঘড়িটা, ক্লড এরকম বলেছিল হয়তো। অ্যান্ড আই ওয়েন্ট টু আওয়ার হাউস টু ব্রিং দ্য কাইট। বাট যখন নিয়ে আসছি, সামহাও আমি হোঁচট খেলাম। দৌড়ে দৌড়ে আসছি তো, হোঁচট খেলাম। হোঁচট খেলেই আমি পড়ে গেলাম পাথরের ওপরে, অ্যান্ড সামহাও আমার কনুইটা ঢুকে গেল ঘুড়ির মধ্যে। যা সুন্দর হাওয়া, ঘুড়ি ওড়াতে ওদের ইচ্ছে হয়েছে। They were very eager to fly the kite in grand wind, but the kite was damaged. We had to hurry to fix the kite if we wanted to send it up before the wind fell. So we were in a great hurry. They must be in a great hurry because the wind can never continue forever. Such wind could never continue forever. And it was a grand wind for kite flying. So they must be in a hurry. দেখ এখানে হাড়ি কথাটাকে ইনফিনিটিভ হিসেবে মানে ভার্ব হিসেবে ব্যবহার করা হয়েছে। হাড়ির নাউনও কিন্তু হাড়ি, We had to hurry. We এটা আবার যদি বলা হয় ট্রান্সফরমেশনে ইউজ হারি অ্যাজ নাউন, তাহলে কি বলতে হবে? উই হ্যাড টু বি ইন হারি। বোঝা গেল? তো so we were in a hurry because we are very eager to fly it before the wind fell. We rushed into the lighthouse to get some paper, but they require some paper to mend the kite, to repair the kite. That's why they went immediately to their house, that is the lighthouse. We knew there was no more red paper, but they were going short of red paper and they were absolutely aware of the fact. ওরা জানতো যে কাগজটা দিয়ে ঘুড়িটা তৈরি, দ্যাট ইজ লাল কাগজটা, সেটা আর ওদের কাছে নেই, ভালো করেই জানতো। We took the first thing that came handy, but we were in hurry. That's why we did not lose our time, did not waste our time for looking for red paper. We just took whatever came handy at that moment. An old letter lying on the bookcase in the sitting room. একটা চিঠি আমাদের বসার ঘরে বুককেসের উপরে পড়েছিল, বহু পুরনো চিঠি। They had no relation. They seemed to have no relation, so no letter would come to them. It must be a very old letter, and for time immemorial for them, the kite had been lying on the bookcase in their sitting room. We patched the kite up with the letter. That is the way of the children, you know. কোনো কিছুই ভাবে না যারা, তাদের কাছে যে কোনো জিনিসের সিরিয়াসনেস ততটা নেই। They are always on their own way. So we repaired the kite with the letter. They patched it up with the letter, a sheet on each side, and dried it by the fire. They pasted the letter, they torn the letter in two parts, and they pasted the letter in both sides of the kite, and then they dried it by fire. We started out. Then they began flying the kite, and up went the kite like a bird. It began soaring in the sky like a bird because the wind was very conducive to kite flying. The wind was glorious and it soared. Wind was very beautiful, very helpful for flying kites, and that is why it went up and up. They were feeling very happy. All at once, snap, but suddenly, somehow, in the upper part of the sky, there must be a wind was somewhat faster, and that is why the kite snapped, and there was ঘুড়িটা উপরে গেল, ঘুড়িটার সুতোটা ছিঁড়ে গেল। ওপরে হয়তো হাওয়াটা একটু বেশি গতিবেগ ছিল, and there was Claude, and I found Claude standing with a bit of cord in his hand, who was standing only with a cord, with a thread in his hand, looking foolish, and he looked absolutely unsmart, bewildered. Oh, what happened to our favorite kite? Oh, ill-fate. He was looking a bit foolish. Our kite had sailed away over to the mainland, and we saw our kite was flying, and it was soaring up and up, and it was going towards the mainland. Now, we have completed reading the Unit 2. You have to work out the exercise. So, the exercise করতে হবে Unit 2 এর এক্সারসাইজটা, এবং আগামীকাল tomorrow we shall discuss about the exercise. Okay then, so bye for today.